Need a boost? Sometimes all it takes is tapping into your inner cool. Icebreaker's gum helps you unleash the confidence within. Each chew releases a rush of icy flavor powered by cooling flavor crystals, sending a wave of refreshment to reinvigorate all your senses. Icebreaker's convenient pack fits everywhere, from car cup holders to backpack pockets, so you can find your cool wherever you go. Grab Icebreaker's gum online or at a store near you.
These long dog days of summer, I mean, we just made it through a heat wave. Mama was parched through this heat wave. I was hitting up Dunkin' every single day, and I will continue to probably for the rest of my days, but especially this summer. Dunkin' is helping everyone stay cool this summer with its lineup of refreshers. These drinks are packed with bold, fruity flavors and served ice cold. It's amazing. Dunkin' refreshers are the perfect afternoon pick-me-up. I like to start my morning with them personally, and then sometimes I go back for a second one because I'm just feeling crazy. They come in a variety of delicious flavors, including fan favorites mango pineapple and strawberry dragon fruit. And then for a limited time, there's black cherry and there's pink pineapple. I'm going to tell you something right now, and it's a bold claim, let me tell you, but I stand behind it. Pink pineapple will change your life. It is so good. It has me feeling like I'm sitting in a pool, resort side, just living, honey. It's so yummy. Try your favorite flavor with green tea, sparkling water, lemonade, or Dunkin's all-new limeade. I haven't tried the limeade yet, but I'm going to. Usually I get my drinks made with green tea and occasionally lemonade, but I do really like the green tea. Or if you don't want to build your own, try one of Dunkin's curated refreshers like the Cherry Lime Ricky or the Ultimate Pink Daydream. The Cherry Lime Ricky, scrumptious. I could drink like 3 of these a day. They're so freaking yummy. Head to Dunkin' today and find your favorite refresher. Dunkin' refreshers contain less than 1% fruit juice. Limited time offer. Every good detective needs a partner to support them on important cases. Think of a State Farm agent like your sidekick, there to help you along the way in your search for coverage. State Farm can help you choose the coverage you need, whether it's for your home, car, boat, or even RV. With so many options, it's nice knowing you have help finding what fits for you so you can get back to solving all of life's bigger cases. Go to statefarm.com or use the award-winning app to connect with a local agent and get a quote. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, weirdos, I'm still Ash.
And I'm still Alaina.
And this shit is still morbid as fuck.
And Mini.
Mini, 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 mini morbid. Mini morbid, mini morbid, mini morbid. It's Mini, and I always forget to say that.
You definitely do.
But you know what? Here you are, and the title says that it's Mini, and you know what? It's actually not Mini.
I was just going to say, this is not a Mini.
I don't lie to the people.
In fact, and I'll explain this at the end of the episode, this might have a little branch off of it that goes into my next Mini.
Well, I love trees,
so trees, they provide oxygen.
Correct.
Love them.
Yep.
Cool. Let's keep those around. So we're just 2 nerds who think we're funny.
That's my favorite negative review ever. I don't even look at it as a negative review. I am a nerd, and I do think I'm funny. Do your friends think I'm funny?
Yeah, we haven't really given a shit about any of our negative reviews lately because we're just like in that place now where we don't care about negative reviews. We care much more about all the beautiful, lovely listeners who leave us beautiful, thoughtful, delightful, positive reviews because you guys are the best. So we just want to thank you.
When I'm sad, I read the positive reviews.
Yeah, because you guys are so thoughtful and just nice and you're articulate. And we love you. We read literally every single one of them.
All of them.
And they touch our black little hearts.
And our somewhat souls.
But the one negative review that we also loved so much was somebody who literally just said
they're just two nerds that think they're funny. And I'm like, you know what? You're not wrong.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? Nailed it.
That's not false information, Sally. That's correct.
So that's really all. That's not business, but that's all the business we attend to on a Mini Morbid. So let's dive right into this.
What's your Mini Morbid about?
My Mini Morbid.
Let's just call it your fucking morbid.
My full ass morbid.
My full ass morbid.
I'm not going to tell you. I'm just going to lead you into it.
Okay. I'm
going to see if you know this case. This is kind of like a well-known case, I would think.
Don't say that because I probably won't know it.
That's okay.
Thank you.
So on November 3rd, 1998.
I was alive.
You were. Barely. but you were alive.
I was like 2.
Yeah, that's like barely.
Yeah.
2 years on the earth, that's not a lot. 8-year-old Maddie Ray Clifton, who was born on June 17th, 1990, arrived home from school to her home in on Fleetwood Road, Lakewood, Jacksonville, Florida.
I want to live on Fleetwood Road.
Yeah?
Fleetwood Mac.
Oh, Fleetwood. I was like, what is the thing behind that? I get it now.
Thank you.
That evening, she sat down and played the piano sometime around like 5 o'clock. Mm-hmm. So after she did her piano practice, it was about 20 minutes later, and she went off to chip some golf balls with a guy named Larry Grisham, who lives at the end of the street.
I love that.
Now, Maddie was like a little tomboy. She loved sports. She was like super tough. Like they describe her as tough as nails at one point.
Aww.
But she could also be like a ballerina.
Right.
Like she was super well-rounded, just like this cool little chick.
Just like a badass 8-year-old.
Exactly. Like Maddie was so cool.
Oh no. I don't like where this is headed.
Yeah. She came back home and she was like, Mom, I need some more golf balls because we lost them all.
Oh my God.
So this is the last time her mother saw her alive.
Ugh.
Now, little warning ahead of time. I'm going to give you a big warning when I discuss it, but there is a child death, obviously, in this one. But I will let you know when things get a little gnarly here, because I personally hate children's death cases as well. Like, I have problems reading or listening to them, but I think this one's just really important to tell. Mm-hmm. So by 6:20 p.m. that night, Maddie's mom, Sheila Clifton, she called for her and her older sister, who was, I believe, 11 years old, Jessica, to come in. She called her for dinner.
Okay.
And this is just what they did. Like, this was, the 90s.
Yeah, I was going to say it's like
they were in a
90s.
cul-de-sac. Everybody knew each other. So, and I mean, even when I used to play outside when I was little, our parents just called us in for dinner. Like, we were playing around the neighborhood.
Yeah. It used to be a very normal thing.
Exactly. Like, it sounds crazy now, but it's like back then it really wasn't that big of a deal. Now, when she calls them for dinner, Jessica comes in immediately.
Oh, no.
And Maddie's not with her. So Jessica's like, oh, yeah, I haven't seen Maddie for a while. I didn't even know she was out playing.
Uh-huh.
So, of course, her mom's like, what? Which I can't even fathom the amount of just, like, sick
Like the
that you must
gut-wrenching
feel.
feeling.
Like, I can, like, feel it for her. So she immediately starts going to neighbors' houses because she knows them. And she's saying, has
Where's
any of you
Maddie?
seen Maddie? No one has seen her. So she's starting to literally panic, and she's standing on her front lawn screaming Maddie's name.
Oh my God.
Which I totally get, because it's like, that's, in like, quick little side note, my kids are 3.5 years old, my twins. They don't go anywhere without me seeing them.
Right.
Like, I'm probably like too much, I suppose.
I don't think that you could ever be
I
too
just
much.
feel like you can't be.
No.
And we were out in our backyard the other day, and one of them went in the house without telling me
Oh God.
to go get something, and I happened to turn around and see only one of them. I screamed her name in such a state of panic that she started to cry and ran back out from the house. And I like ran to her and I was like, Mom, I didn't know where you went. And I'm sorry I yelled, but I didn't know where you went. I thought I lost you. Like, I freaked out. I freaked out because it can happen
Yeah.
like that. It's like these things can happen in the matter of seconds. So it's like
When they do.
when it happens, even for a split second, it's like every scenario must go through your head.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
That's your
so I'm a
little
crazy
baby.
mom, just so you know. And so unfortunately, so her mother Sheila was absolutely freaking out by this point, and soon the entire neighborhood started searching around.
Well, and it's like, it's a cul-de-sac. She couldn't have fucking gone far without
Exactly.
someone seeing something.
And I'm sure everybody in that neighborhood is like, whoa, wait a second. Like, we all know each other.
And we all know, like, you can
like-
see a car come and go from
Yeah.
a cul-de-sac.
So they're like, wait a second. Now, her father, Steve, who was a supervisor at a metal shop, he said, quote, it was like she shut the door and just poof, vanished off the face of the earth.
Oh my God, that makes my heart hurt.
Yeah. So by 6:33 p.m. approximately, Sheila Clifton had enough, and she called 911. She was
bet.
like, I'm not fucking around here. So that night, I mean, adults, children, everybody in that neighborhood and around that neighborhood went on searches. Like, people were volunteering everywhere. Jessica, her older sister, who was like 11, was riding her bike through the neighborhood screaming Maddie's name.
Oh
Like,
my
this was
God.
a huge
This is
scene.
hurting my soul.
Yeah. So, I mean, and this was in the middle of the night. People had flashlights out. They went all through the night looking for her.
Jesus.
Couldn't find her anywhere. Now, somebody who was with these searchers was a neighbor who lived very close to the Clifton's house. He was a 14-year-old. He often played with Maddie, and his name was Josh Phillips.
Okay.
Now, Maddie was apparently liked him a lot, liked to play with him.
Yeah.
Even though he's 14 and she's 8. Mm-hmm. Later, we will see that was a source of contention at one point. They went for hours and hours all through the night. Next morning, nowhere to be found.
Okay.
So the following day, a Jacksonville Sheriff's Office detective decided to go door to door and started talking to each neighbor, trying to get stories, finding out where people were that night. Like, we got to figure out what happened here. No one could give any useful information because they all had alibis. They were all friends with the Cliftons, and they were all like, we never saw her. Like, she wasn't here. She wasn't playing with our kid.
Okay.
So there was one person that they kind of focused on at first. Mm-hmm. His name was Larry Grisham, the guy that she went to chip golf balls with.
Is this like an actual guy?
Well, that's the thing. When I first read it, I was like, oh, Larry Grisham, she's going to play with. Larry Grisham is a man. He was a 45-year-old man who liked to play with children.
Okay.
And I don't mean I'm not suggesting that he liked to, like, quote unquote, play with the children.
Yeah.
But he did have a criminal history that involved 29 arrests to his name. I am sure people didn't know about
for
this.
like.
Now, the
chill
charges
thing?
he had under his name were things like auto theft, DUIs, but there were 2 counts of sexual battery 5 years apart from each other. Both of those counts were dropped.
Okay.
But they are on his record.
Okay.
And they do not say that they're against a child.
Okay.
But
still,
either way. So
that's a little stressful and troublesome.
exactly. So I'm not sure what's going on with that, but
I mean, I'm not blaming anybody, but I probably wouldn't let my 8-year-old play with a 40-year-old man.
yeah, I would think that might be a little weird. But I guess if she's outside with him, they're hitting golf balls.
Yeah.
Maybe they could see the house from where she was.
Right.
I mean, I personally,
I'd
I
just be like,
wouldn't,
no.
but I can't speak for all parents.
I'd be like, no good 40-year-old has an 8-year-old
yeah,
friend that I know of.
It just doesn't feel right to
Sorry,
me.
kid.
According to Larry, when they discussed with him, like, you were the last person to see that supposedly was with her. Mm-hmm. So what happened that night? So he said that night around 5:15 p.m. there was like a strip of land between his home and a neighbor's house, and they were using that strip, which was really close to Maddie's house. I guess it was like 5 doors down.
Okay.
They were using that strip to chip golf balls.
Sure.
So they were out in the open. People could see them. And he said Maddie went to get some more golf balls, but she didn't come back. So he said, from what I figured, her parents wanted her to stay home because it was getting a little late. It was 5:15.
Dinner was ready.
Something like I wasn't really concerned about it.
Right.
So that was, and he said, that's it. That's the last I saw of her. So police did take him in for more questioning, and he did fail a polygraph.
Okay.
But we know how polygraphs can be, like, fucking as useful as, like, a fucking hot dog in a trench coat. Like, it's literally...
Is that a real thing?
I don't know where that just came from.
I didn't know. I was like, is this a real expression?
It feels like that's not very useful.
A hot dog in a trench coat.
Right?
I want someone to draw that for us.
I just really want a hot dog. So I think that's why that came to me. And then I feel like you wouldn't want it in a trench coat because you can't eat it.
Okay.
So he failed the polygraph, but
trench coats and hot dogs.
And trench coats, hot dogs, all that mess. So police did search Larry's house. They searched it 9 times.
That's a lot.
So I think they were really trying to nail this guy with it.
What are you hiding?
Because they didn't have anything else. So I think they're like, you gotta be it. You're the last guy who saw her. You're 45 years old playing with an 8-year-old.
And
you have
this extensive record too.
They questioned him 20 times. He was able to provide a strong alibi, and he readily gave them DNA samples.
Okay,
so that kind of
he's
made
not
them
our
like,
guy.
yeah. So now Steve and Sheila, Maddie's parents, are sitting here having to think, like, quite possibly somebody who's 5 doors down from me has Maddie. Because they still haven't found her. They don't even know if she's alive, dead, what.
Oh my God.
Like, I can't imagine how crazy they must
Well,
have
then
felt.
can you imagine how worried you are about your other child, too?
Exactly.
And how worried everybody in the neighborhood is about their fucking kids?
Exactly. And apparently they did station a police officer or a couple of them at the Clifton home because they were worried about Jessica. Because they were like, we don't know what this is about.
Right.
So maybe someone is going to come back.
And Jessica was probably fucking terrified.
Oh, yeah. And again, hundreds of volunteers are still scouring the neighborhood. They're scouring the nearby woods, swamps, anything.
And nothing's coming up.
They did a house-to-house search with cadaver dogs. The U.S. Army Reserve even came in to go through manholes and shit. Yeah, crazy. So they had missing person posters printed. Like, they were posted everywhere. And everyone was wearing yellow ribbons and were hanging them on trees for Maddie.
My heart.
So this was a huge search. I mean, this was nothing to sneeze at. Now, on Sunday of that week, even the Jaguars football coaches were wearing the ribbons.
Oh.
Yeah. So this was huge. Of course, nothing. So this is when the Cliftons were like, we have to go to the press. Like, we have to...
Yeah, we have to do something.
We have to do... Like, we have to up our game here. So they went on TV and they begged whoever had her to please let her go. They offered $50,000 reward for any news to her whereabouts.
Damn, $50,000 is a lot of fucking money.
And they said there is a possibility of doubling it.
Holy
so they
shit.
were literally like, we will do anything
$100,000
to get her home.
My God.
And then they addressed her directly and they said, quote, Maddie, if you are out there and you can hear us, we are ready for you to come back home. Please come home. And her mom was like sobbing.
Oh, that really just hurt my soul.
They had T-shirts with her face on them. There was more than 10 billboards throughout Jacksonville with her face on them.
This is giving me chills.
This went on and this was a whole week. So 7 days after Maddie went missing, the Cliftons went on to Good Morning America. Mm-hmm. And this is when they were just trying to, again, plea for her captor to let her go if she was alive, like, just trying anything. While they were wrapping up this segment on Good Morning America, Maddie was found.
Okay.
So let's go to the Phillips house.
Okay.
Yeah, not a place you want to be. So Melissa Missy Phillips is Josh Phillips' mom. So this was 7 days after Maddie went missing. Missy Phillips is getting ready for work. She just sent Josh off to school. So she had I think she had a couple of hours before she had to go into work.
Yeah.
So she said it was just after 7 a.m. And she said she was like, you know what? I'd been asking Josh to clean his fucking room.
I know this case.
All week. And he hadn't done it. So she was like, I had this time. And I was like, I'm going to start getting rid of shit. Because she said not only was it an absolute pigsty, but she said there was this fucking disgusting odor coming from it. Mm-hmm. Now, she said, quote, I'd been nagging him about his room because it was in deplorable condition. So I had a garbage bag and I was going to start putting stuff in that I knew was trash. He had 3 birds that he kept in his room. So oftentimes, if he didn't change the cage out, it would start smelling. But she did say this smelled much worse. I think he had 2 parakeets and a cockatiel. And she said she figured it was like a combo of the birds, and he's 14 years old, maybe has some like rotting food in his room.
Yeah.
So she was like, I'm going in there to find this.
14-year-old boys just smell bad anyways.
Exactly. So while she's cleaning, she says she noticed a damp spot on the floor. Mm-hmm. This damp spot was on the corner of Josh's bed, which was a water bed.
Okay.
Now, she immediately is like, shit, the waterbed is leaking.
Oh, which sucks.
As someone who had a waterbed when I was younger,
you're fucked.
That shit leaks all the time, and it sucks. So I understand why she immediately was like, oh, fuck, that's the waterbed leaking.
Yeah.
She said, quote, I was thinking maybe it's mildew, or mold. Maybe that's what this odor is.
Right.
It's coming from the leaking waterbed.
She's like, what the fuck is this smell?
Yeah. So she said she touched the corner of the mattress, and it was absolutely soaked. So she said she looked in a little bit more because waterbeds are bullshit. And she was afraid she was going to have to literally drain the whole thing because that's what you have to do when they leak. It sucks. So they're like I don't even know if they're a thing anymore.
I don't think so.
They used to be huge.
I think it's like a gel mattress is like the new
Probably,
thing.
Yeah. Which makes a lot more sense.
Mm-hmm.
So after she looked at the bed frame and she said she noticed that there was black electrical tape holding one of the corners together. And she was like, huh. The fuck's that about? So she said she also noticed that there was something that looked like a sock in there. And she was like, oh, how do you get one of his socks in the bed frame? Like, fucking
God.
weirdo. So
She's like, my kid's gross.
yeah, she's like,
as
what is
fuck."
wrong with you, Josh? So then she's like, this tape is weird because she's like, he's never taped his bed frame before. So she peeled the tape apart and cracked open the corner panel. And she said it was dark under that bed. Like there's a little cavern between the waterbed mattress and like the box spring.
Okay.
And she said she went and had to go get a flashlight because she was like, I can't see anything. So she said she lifted it up again and put the flashlight in there. And she said she saw something absolutely horrific inside.
Okay.
She calls her husband, Steve, and she gets his voicemail. And she just says, the voicemail says, please call home, please. It's an emergency.
Oh, God.
Now, he didn't call back. So she said, I knew I needed to get someone. So she knew the neighborhood had a ton of police around.
Uh-huh.
So instead of calling 911, this was around 7:30 a.m., she ran outside and just ran up to the nearest police officer.
Oh, this poor woman.
Officer Donald F. Tutton, I think it is. He was part of the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. He was sitting in his marked police car, and he was on surveillance duty because they had someone constantly.
Right.
Now, he said he saw this woman run out of her house at 6139 Fleetwood Street, and she was running up to his vehicle. So he can see that she's crying, like totally distraught. So he gets out and he's like, can I help you? Like, what is going on?
Right.
So she can barely get out what she needs him to do. And she's so hysterical. Finally, she manages to tell him she's found something at her home and he needs to come see it.
Okay.
So he's like, oh, good. Like,
Yeah, right. I'd be like, can you just maybe give me a hint?
yeah, he's like, fun, a puzzle. So, like, just what I love in my line of work. So he said, what is it that you found? And
Right.
she's like, I can't say. She's like, please, please, please just come in my house.
He's like, can you just fucking tell me what it is?
Because honestly, I'd be like, I don't want to.
I know. I can't imagine being this dude.
Like, I would have been like, oh, no.
I'm busy that day.
No, I don't want to. So he smartly radioed for two other detectives to come.
I was going to say, because imagine she
Yeah.
could just be like some crazy lady.
Exactly.
Like,
so,
I want you to see this bomb I made.
Exactly. So I think he's like, yeah, I'm going to get two other people.
Call him for backup.
Now, so the three detectives ended up following her back to her house, and she brings them to Josh's room, but she says, I can't go in. And so she said, quote, I just pointed to where they needed to look. I couldn't even go in.
Oh, this poor, poor woman.
So Officer Sulis, who's one of the detectives, opened the door, and he said he immediately smelled death and decay. Mm-hmm. And
you know that as
we
an
know
officer.
what that smells like. And he
Right.
said, I immediately knew what that smelled like. So he said the bottom cavity of the waterbed was left open, and he said, sticking out from the corner, we could clearly see 2 small feet clad in white socks.
Oh, that just like did something to me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Wow.
really bad. Immediately, Missy Phillips started sobbing and like screaming and just losing her mind.
Yeah.
Because now it's real. So Officer Tutton took her away outside, and he was like, you have to tell me how you found this, like what happened here. So she said, quote, as I lifted the corner of the mattress, I noticed a white sock and figured it was one of Josh's. So I started to pull on it, but it wouldn't budge.
Oh my God.
I wondered how it got there in the first place and was puzzled as to why it would not pull free. About that time, I noticed black electrical tape holding the black frame of the pedestal together and surmised the bed must have been leaking for quite some time, and apparently Josh had attempted to hold it together with the tape so he wouldn't get into trouble, which is a running theme with this case, is Josh didn't want to get in trouble.
How did she not feel the foot in the sock?
She did. The tape freely pulled away from the pedestal, and the wood gave way just enough that I could at least see the sock better. I grabbed it, and this time felt something else.
Sorry.
So I went to another room and retrieved a flashlight. As I pulled the pedestal slightly away, the sock fell down, and I felt something cold.
Oh.
At the same time, the beam of the flashlights showed me something I could never have been prepared to see. It could not be what I thought it was, yet somehow I knew exactly what I had found, the missing little girl from across the street.
Oh, I just got goosebumps.
Yeah. So, and she was freaking out because she was like, I had to implicate my own son.
Yeah, that's like your
Like,
baby.
I had to do it. Like, this is someone else's baby, but that is my baby. You know, like, what a fucking mind fuck. So this is when Officer Tutton was like, okay, where is your son? And she was like, he's on the school bus on his way to school right now.
Oh my God.
So, and she also said, quote, I remember looking at the Cliftons' house as I walked towards the patrol car thinking, right now they still have hope. In a few minutes, they'll know.
Oh my God.
Right?
You are destroying me.
I know. So by this time, Josh's father, Steve, had got the voicemail. So he was rushing home because all he knew was
he doesn't even know.
It was an emergency. That's all he knew. So he got there. There's like a million police cars. He isn't allowed inside his house. He's like, what the fuck is going on? As this is going on, this is when detectives knocked on the Cliftons' door. And Sheila and Steve Clifton said they knew immediately it wasn't good because they were like their faces. And after seeing all these police cars swarm a house near them, they were like, yeah, this can't be good. Right. Which I just can't even imagine. It's like, ugh. It like gives me such a pit in my stomach. They all sat down with them and they told them that they did find Maddie.
And she wasn't alive.
And her father's first question was, where did you find her? And the officer said, across the street.
Oh, God.
Which must have destroyed them. Knowing for the whole week.
That's 7 full days.
Yeah. Like, the whole week she's been right over there.
Like yards away from you.
And you have no idea how long she's been alive. You don't know what she's gone through. I mean, just the thoughts that must be running through your brain as a parent. Unbelievable to me. I can't even like bring myself to put, you know what I mean? Like you can think about it, but you can't even place yourself. You can think
about it, but you can't think about it.
Then you want to run as far away from it as possible. You want to get on a train, a plane, an automobile and get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
So that was
your next note. Who is Josh? That's just how I read it. Who is Josh?
My notes are so weird.
I like that.
Who's Josh? There is nothing funny about this case, but there are lots of funny things about my notes. So, who's Josh?
Let me know.
I'm going to let you know.
Hit me up.
So, Joshua Earl Patrick Phillips was born March 17th, 1984.
I thought people with 3 names were weird, but maybe people with 4 names are like extra fooked.
Yeah, I think so. I think this proves it.
You are extra fooked.
And he's the only child of Steve and Melissa Phillips.
Okay.
Now, he does have 2 older half-brothers that were already moved out of the house, so he didn't really grow up with them. So he was essentially an only child.
Fuck them.
Yeah, fuck them. So when Josh was born, he was a happy, healthy, very normal baby. Nothing to report during the birth that like could have been like, oh shit.
Point to that.
Oh, there it is. Now they said he was always smiling as a baby and a child. He was his parents describe him as a pleasure when he was little. The family did move several times over the years, but Josh remained like a happy, talkative kid, super friendly with everyone, didn't seem to bother him. He made friends easily. He was super active and he was like a really curious child.
Okay.
Like, you know, those kids that are like, I need to know why the sky is blue.
Like,
you know
your
what I mean?
kids?
Yeah. And it's like, which is a good thing, you know?
Yeah,
like,
you want your kids to ask like questions.
Exactly. And I mean, by all accounts, he seems like he's like a very like, you know,
average child.
A very good, like, you know, healthy child.
Yeah.
He's like doing everything you want kids to do. He liked going to zoos. He loved animals. He loved going to museums. He loved science from like an early age. He was a member of the Cub Scouts. And he rose all the way to Wolf Cub, which means absolutely nothing to me. But I was
going to say, I don't know what that even means.
I'm sure someone listening knows what that means. I mean, it's the Cub Scouts, so Wolf Cub sounds pretty diesel.
I feel like Eagle Cub is like the best you can get.
I don't think eagles have cubs, but you're really pretty.
I'm gonna go now. I didn't put into like my thoughts that like you had like the animal before the thing had to like have a baby.
Cub. Yeah.
No, I know a cub is a baby.
Like I think they have eaglets. I think that's what they're called actually, which is cute.
I actually already left.
The more you know. So,
you know what's really terrifying? That unfinished college degree lurking in the background, just sitting there waiting for you. That's where Southern New Hampshire University comes in. With flexible online degree programs, there's no commuting, no rigid schedule, and no more excuses. Plus, they have some of the lowest online tuition rates in the U.S. Visit snhu.edu/morbid to learn more before your degree becomes just another story about what could have been. Every good detective needs a partner to support them on important cases. Think of a State Farm agent like your sidekick, there to help you along the way in your search for coverage. State Farm can help you choose the coverage you need, whether it's for your home, car, boat, or even RV. With so many options, it's nice knowing you have help finding what fits for you so you can get back to solving all of life's bigger cases. Go to statefarm.com or use the award-winning app to connect with a local agent and get a quote. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Again, we're not laughing at this case, guys.
No.
I just want to always clarify that when we laugh...
Sometimes people are like, they are laughing and they're disrespectful.
Sometimes people get really mad at us.
Listen, Susan.
But Susan, chill.
Calm down, all right?
Because we're just laughing at our own dumb.
We love you, Sue.
Just deal with it. To his father. His parents were, they loved him. They took care of him. They didn't physically abuse him, by all accounts, by his own account.
Okay.
But his dad was like a really big, imposing dude.
Okay.
He also had a really bad temper.
Oh.
That temper was fueled by alcohol.
Okay, so
was
he like
good.
a dick?
Not good.
Yeah.
And basically he was super strict, very strict disciplinarian, which is not always great.
Right.
Especially when it's fueled by alcohol.
Was it like borderline emotionally abusive?
Exactly. It teetered into emotional and verbal abuse with him.
We don't stand.
Josh was very scared of his dad and didn't want to do things to incite his temper.
Obviously.
Which is important later.
Uh-huh.
At 14 years old, Josh was this like tall, skinny, like brown-haired little boy. Yeah. He actually looks super baby. At 14,
he has a very baby face.
Very baby face. Which is even worse when you look at his picture and you know like what happened.
Yeah.
You're like, that you have such a baby face. Like, how did you do this adult thing? That's really upsetting.
Because humans are gross.
Yeah, they really are. So at this point, when he was 14, people described him as a normal, happy kid. He had tons of friends, loved to make people laugh. Not a loner at all.
Okay.
Like, not rebellious. Nothing that would point to, like, something's going on with that kid.
Right.
He attended school at A. Philip Randolph Academy of Technology. He was in 9th grade at this point, and he had a C average.
Same.
He was also a bit of, he was kind of like the class clown. But
also
not like,
same.
But not in, like, trouble. Like, he didn't go to the principal's office or anything. Or
yeah,
like,
he was just funny, a jokester.
He was just like a goofy kid.
You're
like,
a goofball.
Just a fun goofball. So, again, nothing would have pointed to this kid having any issues whatsoever.
Yeah, so far he seems very typical.
Yeah, like, this wasn't one of those things where the neighbors are like, yeah, oh my God, we're shocked. But you know what?
There was that one time he kicked my dog.
Nothing. Like, nothing. Except for this thing.
I was going to say, there has to be something.
Except for this.
There's never nothing.
And this is a big thing.
Is this going to be like
no, this is just more like, so this kid was all of those things.
Okay.
But he had this whole other, like, part of him that I think he hid from, like, his family and stuff a lot that came out later.
Okay.
That we're going to see. So he had been in trouble with Maddie's parents before. Okay. Maddie's parents had already not taken a shine to him.
Why?
So at one point they had forbid him from entering their house.
Tell me why.
Because one time they came home and they found him in Jessica's bedroom upstairs, the older daughter, the 11-year-old.
Was Jessica there?
Nope.
Uh-huh.
And he was uninvited.
Uh-huh.
And this was just 1 month prior to Maddie's murder.
Okay, what happened?
He apparently stole a photo out of a frame of Jessica in a gymnastics leotard doing like a back bend.
Okay.
So what ended up happening is they found out this was discussed a lot in trial, he was weirdly obsessed with Jessica.
Oh.
Like weirdly obsessed.
And she was 11.
She was 11 and he was 14. He also discussed sex in front of the two girls.
Oh, yeah.
And Florence Clifton, who was their grandmother, was like, you don't come around my granddaughters anymore. Like, she found out about this and was like, no.
Oh, shit.
Now, at this point, and Maddie and Jessica's parents were like, yeah, we don't want you playing with our kids anymore. Like, you're too old, too. Like,
yeah,
anyways,
why is
like,
why is a 14-year-old hanging out with an 11 and 8-year-old?
Like, you don't need to be around them, and you're not doing yourself any favor here by acting really gross around them. Right. So, like, no. Now, as time went by, this started to loosen up a little bit, and they started to be a little more like, okay, you guys can
like,
play
whatever,
together.
You're a 14-year-old boy.
But they still weren't, like, super psyched. And Josh's parents also found out about all this and were like, you're not playing with Maddie. Like,
yeah.
We're not getting into this shit.
Right.
Now, what came out later, too, when police searched his computer, is that they found out that he was really into violent sexual images and graphic pornography, some of which involved children.
Ew.
So he had this weird whole other
okay, so he was not a normal
going
kid.
on, but it didn't leak out. That's
right.
That's the weirdest part of this dude, is it never leaked out until this happened. It's like there was no like tiny little leaks happening of this part of his personality, and then it exploded.
It was one explosion.
It just fucking exploded in the worst way it possibly could. It's like really fascinating that's how it happened.
And horrific.
Oh, so horrific. He also allegedly, I'll say allegedly because I don't know if they ever...
It's unconfirmed.
This has been totally... I mean, it was in the trial. They did allege this in trial. That he had broken into the Cliftons' home at times to steal little things. Like a picture here. And just like, and they said they found holes in Jessica's walls that were covered by posters where like crawl spaces were in the
What?
back.
No.
Yeah.
Like
again,
Danny LaPlante type shit?
Yes. And they couldn't confirm that he was the one who did this, but they alleged that he had something to do with this, to like spy on her.
Okay, that's fucked up.
But again, these are not things that they like totally confirmed, but it's something that was brought up.
Oh my God.
And either way, he definitely stole the photo because the photo was missing. They discovered him in the room, and then when the police logged everything in his bedroom, that photo was taped to his headboard.
Why did his parents never notice that picture was taped to his headboard?
Maybe he might have covered it with pillows or something.
Ew.
Because they didn't say where it was taped. It could have been taped near the mattress.
That's
true.
Like, that's really fucked up.
Creepy. So speaking of the crime scene,
oh,
let's talk about what the police found in his room.
Does your note say the crime scene?
It says crime scene.
Her notes are amazing.
So
who's Josh?
Who's Josh? Josh had a ton of air fresheners and incense in his room. Wonder why?
Yeah. I mean, me too, actually, minus the air fresheners.
Yeah, but he kind of explains later that he just kept adding fresheners to his room throughout the week because it just kept getting worse and worse, and he didn't know what else to do. So there was a can of Febreze Fabric Fresh. There was odor eaters, air fresheners. There were 2 Glade plug-ins.
Wow.
Several rolls of tape. A baseball bat hidden behind a dresser, which comes back later. A Leatherman knife, which was thrown behind the TV.
Okay.
They found a pair of tennis shoes that were stained in Maddie's blood. Mm-hmm. And they also found a flyer that was literally the missing persons flyer that was hanging from a bookshelf.
Okay, that's fucked up.
Like hanging up in his room as she decomposed under her under
Okay, no, this kid is not fucking normal.
So they also found, and they like named this, which I was like, whoa, step back.
What?
They named that he had a card game entitled Magic the Gathering on his bookshelf, and I was like, wait a second, I used to collect those cards.
I was just about to say, didn't you have those cards?
I was like, well, fuck.
I mean, that's just a card game, whatever.
I know, but I was like, don't name that in the crime scene, man. Like,
yeah, that's like that
makes me feel some type of way.
That's like being like, also he owned Cards Against Humanity,
which likely led to it. It's like, come on,
like, all right,
don't play Magic the Gathering. It's like Dungeons and Dragons card game, basically.
Right.
So they also found...
Also, he was a wizard.
Also, he was totally trying to be a wizard.
Just a side note.
It's like same, but I'm not killing people, so... They also found a piece of carpet. They took a piece of carpet that had blood on it.
Oh, no. Can you imagine being his parents and being like, wow, I had no fucking idea that this was all in his room.
That a dead body was in his room.
In my house.
Bonkers.
I'd be so pissed at him.
Oh, I would question a lot.
Yeah.
They also found that photograph of Jessica she was dressed in a leotard and she was doing like some gymnastics position where she was like bent over.
Okay.
They took a pillowcase from his bed and some of the clothing that they believed he was wearing the day of.
Okay.
They took a hairbrush and they found a pair of panties. They bagged those for DNA analysis.
What a fucking skis this kid is.
Yeah. And there was a ceiling fan on his ceiling, and it was like a wooden kind of ceiling fan.
Yeah.
So they found a fine spray of blood on that ceiling fan.
Oh, so this happened in the room.
Yeah. It later proved to be Maddie's blood. And they said that it was 8 feet off the floor that spray went. Okay. Which later, when we discuss his confession, you will find out why.
Okay.
Speaking of the confession.
Okay.
Big trigger warning. Because we are going to discuss... I mean, Josh admitted everything right away. And he explains what happened. And it is
gruesome.
Rough. So Detective William Taylor was the one who picked Josh up from school the day that Maddie's body was found.
Did they let him, like, finish school
No, they went and picked him up and
Okay.
got him out of class.
Okay.
I think he was in, like, geography class or something.
Stupid.
Took him back to the police station, and they started questioning him. Basically, what they said to him was, hey, Josh, your mom found Maddie's body in your room.
Oh.
Like, you want to tell us what happened? So... his parents were present with him when they questioned him.
Because they probably had to be.
Yeah, they have to be, but that doesn't always happen. So his father was the one, I guess, who encouraged him, like, tell the truth, Josh.
Yeah, you have
tell
to.
them what happened. And they said later, they asked, like, was he, like, being forceful? Like, was he scaring him into it? Because they're trying to figure out the dynamic here.
Yeah.
And they did say, no, he was not forceful. He was just telling him, like, you have to tell the truth. Yeah. And he decided to make a full confession.
Okay.
So he said that day, Maddie had come over to his house and wanted to play with him. But he said, no, I'm busy. I have a lot of chores to do. Mm-hmm. Now, he said he had a shit ton of chores. He said like something like 22 chores that were on his list for that afternoon after school. And his parents were like, yeah, we do assign him a ton of chores. But they were like, that sounds crazy. But it's things like, you know, change the bird cage. You know,
like little things.
Feed the dog. Do this, you know, like little things. And they said the reason that they gave him all these chores was to keep him busy between the time he got home from school and they got home so that he wasn't
getting himself into trouble.
Bored and sitting on the computer.
And hiding in someone's crawl space.
But they also still kind of seem like they were like...
a little much.
That's a little much. Like, I think that goes along with the strict disciplinary and like...
22 chores is fucking
ridiculous. We're going to
give
you 22 chores when you get home from school.
I can't imagine assigning... I don't have kids, obviously, but
that's a lot of
mom
chores.
someday, I'd feel like an asshole.
That's a lot of chores. And they also said that once a week he had to cook dinner for the family.
That's weird.
Which I think is crazy because, to be honest,
I don't want my 14-year-old cooking
I don't want
a
14-year-old cooking for me. So they said, yep, he did have a ton of chores to do. But then Josh said, well, I decided I didn't want to do those chores. And he said he just wanted to sit on the computer and, like, surf the web.
Watch gross porn.
Well, computer records showed that from 422 to 457, he was on porn sites, many of them involving images of children and torture. So that's really bad.
Don't know what to say about that.
Josh said around 5:15, so he was off the computer at this point. He said Maddie came back to the house when he was in the yard raking leaves because that was one of his chores and he decided to go back to them. And she came to the fence that was around their house and said, do you want to play baseball?
No.
And he was like, you know what, she's not going to stop. So, yeah, this is according to him.
Okay.
So he said, okay, you can come in the yard, but only for a little while, because he said, you know, if my dad finds out that you're here, he's going to be mad. And I don't want him to be mad at me.
Okay.
So
his wish dad... he had just done that to begin with.
Well, and his dad said, quote, he testified to this. He said, quote, when we're not at home, he's not allowed to go out and play. He's not allowed to let anyone in.
Which is understandable, 100%.
So he was like, yeah, I would have been pissed. Like, he's not supposed to be out playing. So they did start, you know, they took turns. They were pitching and hitting the ball with each other. The space they were in, Josh said, was only like, there was only going to be like 4 feet between them. Okay. And they were pitching and hitting a baseball to each other.
Yeah, that's a little too close.
He said he had one really strong swing, and because he really wanted to hit the ball, and he said he accidentally hit her near her left eye with the baseball.
Okay.
She got a huge gash in her forehead, and she fell down, started crying, and like screaming loudly. So he got super scared because he was like, she's not supposed to be here, and now I just gashed open her head.
Right.
So he said he tried to clean the blood, which I love. The first thing he says is he tries to clean the blood off the ball as best he can.
That's nice, you douchebag.
I'm like, yes, definitely do that. And then he put it inside the house.
I just left her on the lawn? Like,
well,
dude.
He said she was still yelling and screaming because she was in pain. Hurts. And he said he didn't know what to do. So he said she started to quiet down. So he dragged her into the house and into his room. And he said he was so scared that his father was going to be mad at him for playing with her that he panicked. And he said she was bleeding like a ton from the gash.
Wow.
Still crying really loudly. So he said he tried to stop her by putting his hand over her mouth and like telling her stop crying. And
which
she
probably
just
terrified her even more.
Exactly. So she kept screaming, she's crying, she's making a ton of noise. So he said he just had to shut her up. So he said he took the baseball bat and he hit her in the head with it with a strong overhand swing. Overhand. So he said she kept going. So he hit her a second time.
Oh, no.
And he said, quote, jamming the end of the bat on her head. And then he hit her a third time. Now, he said this was a full-strength bat swing to the head.
Was this like a metal baseball bat?
I believe it was wooden. Now, the coroner later said that these head injuries would have eventually killed her anyway. Like this, if that was just it, that would have killed her. That wasn't just it. So, Maddie was apparently whimpering and moaning still, slightly. So he said she was still making noise.
I'm going to start crying, I think.
So I took my knife that was on the bookshelf and he stabbed her twice in the neck. He said the whole time Maddie was basically not, this is according to him and nobody believes this, he's saying she wasn't fighting back or trying to escape, which I don't believe.
No.
He's still panicking. And now he said he opened the side of the waterbed and the side wooden panel underneath the waterbed and he put Maddie under there. Now he has blood all over him. So he said he went into the bathroom, he cleaned up. He basically showered.
Yeah.
And he said while he was cleaning up, he walked by his bedroom and he heard Maddie still moaning under the bed.
Oh my God.
So he reopened the bed.
No.
He took her out. And he stabbed her in the chest 9 times until she stopped breathing. Then he said he put her back under the bed with his feet. He closed the panel, and he heard nothing else. 5:35 p.m., his dad came home from work and made dinner. What the police asked him next were, they said, okay, this is all well and fine. It makes sense what you're saying. It makes sense what you're saying. It's adding up. And they said, what about how she was dressed?
No.
So when she was found, she was naked from the waist down.
Oh, no.
Now, Josh says her shorts and underwear came off when he dragged her into the room. Doesn't make any sense.
Were they like buttons?
And it's like, it just doesn't make sense. They didn't come all the way off.
No.
Both of those things. Maybe they'd be a little awry, but they would not be
off.
All the way off. And he said her shoes came off when he shoved her under the bed the second time. Her shoes just came off.
Yeah.
No. So it's like her underwear and her shorts came off her while you were dragging her with her shoes on over her shoes.
Right.
No. And he said he remembers the shorts being down when he got into the room, but he said he wasn't sure of her underwear. Also, her shirt was, and this came out in trial, her shirt was pulled up on her chest. And they said she was stabbed 9 times in the chest, and there were no stab wounds to the fabric.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Also, her shorts and underwear that he says fell off when he was dragging her were placed beneath the mattress on the, like, wall side, which means they were put in there first. And then she was put in there.
Okay.
Which, if you put her in there after they had already fallen off, you'd probably just throw them in after her.
Right.
Unless you had already taken them off.
Right.
And then you'd put them in first.
Right.
So it's like, gotcha.
That's not true.
Yeah.
Oh, this is really fucked up.
Now, he said that night that this all happened, he said there was a knock on the door right after this all happened. And it was Mrs. Clifton. And she was knocking on the door, yelling for Maddie. And Josh's father said, I didn't even know who Maddie was at first. Like, I was like, wait, what? Like, you know what I mean? I think I know who she is. Like, I think he plays with her. So this is when his father called Josh and was like, you need to go out and help. Look for her. And he was like, okay. So he did. He left and he went out helping, looking for her.
That is psychotic.
Yeah. So Josh said to the police, I slept all week on the bed.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. He said on Wednesday he put the tape on it because he could start smelling her. And he said during the week he would burn incense, he would use the plug-ins, the aerosols, like anything to mask the odor. And he just didn't know what he was going to do.
This kid's a fucking weirdo, dude.
And he said he used transparent tape to go over the corners of the partition first, but then he used black tape on top of that to, like, reinforce it.
Uh-huh.
And when they asked him, like, what did you think you were going to do? Like, what was your end game here? He was like, I have no idea. Like, I have no idea. And they were like, were you literally just going to let her decompose to dust under your bed?
And he was like, yeah.
And he was literally like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know what my end game was. And
like, eventually you're going to get maggots under your bed, bruh.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised no bugs were there to begin with.
Ew, I hate
but
bugs.
They did ask the sheriff, they asked him, like, you know, what was it like finding that? Because that must have been awful.
Yeah.
And he said at that point, you know, decomposition has started. And he was like, it's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life and will ever see. Like, he was like, I can't imagine sleeping on top of that. That's the part that just boggles the mind.
You know, this is gonna sound so stupid, but you know, like, when you're, like, your foot comes out of the cover and, like, you think a fucking ghost is gonna come get you.
There's
like, I didn't kill anybody, and I think that.
Yeah. There's a corpse
you're
under
sleeping
your
on
bed.
top of a corpse and you're not freaked out?
Yeah. It's, like, crazy. Now, 4 days after she was found, her funeral was held. It was on Saturday, November 14th at the San Jose Catholic Church in Jacksonville. 1,200 people came.
Wow.
And hundreds more outside the door. At the funeral, because I just want to put this out there, because people should know more about Maddie.
Yeah.
Not just about Josh,
I feel like it's
the
going to make me
monster.
cry, though.
They said she loved to giggle, but they described her as tough as nails. Mm-hmm. They said she was very vibrant. She liked to play hockey, football, basketball, but she also loved to dance and play piano. Mm-hmm. So again, she's like the most well-rounded, just like cool chick.
Yeah.
Oh, a neighbor said she was an amazing little girl. She could be a little ballerina at one time and a tough football fullback at another time. And when she talked, she made sure you listened. She was a very sweet little girl.
Oh.
And then another neighbor said everybody loved her. And when they asked later, Josh, when they asked him, they were like, why did you kill her? Like, why did you go through all of that? Like, just because you were scared of your dad? Like, that, I don't understand this. His answer was, I don't know. I don't think I have the answer. Maybe I should get some kind of counseling or something to find out what's wrong with me.
Yeah.
So it's like this, like, super goofy, normal, friendly kid just all of a sudden turns into, like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should get some counseling. And it's like, what? So none of your dark passenger shit, like, leaked out at all until this one moment?
Which
seems as though it didn't.
Like,
it's like, what are you? Like, he's an anomaly. He's an anomaly of nature. He truly is. Because it's just, none of this is precedented. You know what I mean? It's just very weird. So on to the trial. I'm just going to give you a couple things about this. It's Wednesday, November 11th was, like, the first, hearing. Mm-hmm. He was held in Duval County Juvenile Detention Center, and he was held in isolation. He was held there until the trial in August 1999, and it was because they were scared of his safety, basically, that they had to put him in isolation. On November 16th, the state attorney, Harry L. Shorstein, went on record and said the state planned to try him as an adult.
Wow, good.
Which is crazy. Like I don't mean crazy like they shouldn't have. It's just that
crazy.
doesn't happen a lot. And he wanted the grand jury to indict him on a first-degree murder charge. On Thursday, November 19th, 1998, he was indicted for the murder of Madeline Ray Clifton in the first degree. And Florida usually gives the death penalty for that.
Right.
But because of his age, he could only get life in prison, which is without the possibility of parole.
Okay.
He entered a not guilty plea.
Why?
That always is like, at first you're always like, fuck you admitted it, you know what I mean?
Right, I never understand
There's always
that.
legal mumbo jumbo that like goes along with that, you know what I mean?
I think it's so stupid.
Yeah, it is. It really is. So the trial was scheduled for April 5th, 1999, and Judge Charles Arnold was presiding over the charge.
Do you know what I just thought of? Like, not guilty because of insanity. Like, that's something like that.
I think that's kind of what it is. It like leaves you open.
Right.
To do these things.
Because as soon as you say you're guilty, you're fucked.
That's it. This just says medical examiner. So the medical examiner was Dr. Floro, and he gave his testimony about what he saw happening. Mm-hmm. So again, trigger warning, we're going to talk about like the medical examiner's findings, which can get a little gruesome. He said there were 3 separate attacks on Maddie, like Josh had admitted. The 3 blows.
Eyeball,
like the blows with the bat, the stab to the neck, and then the stabs
stabbing
to the chest. So he said it was consistent that the lacerations on her head were caused by a baseball or some similar object. Mm-hmm. He said that he agreed there were 2 stabbings to the throat, 9 to the chest, and the abdomen area. Uh-huh. He said he was unsure. He wasn't able to tell for sure whether the throat injury happened first or whether she was hit over the head first. Okay. Like Josh was saying, she was hit over the head first, then he cut her.
Yeah.
He said he didn't feel comfortable saying that was absolutely true, but he said either way, both of them happened. He didn't want to totally agree with Josh's version. He said the blood spatter on the ceiling fan does indicate that she was obviously struck in the head in his bedroom, mm-hmm. and that it was an overhead swing and pull back. So that's where that spat, like he came down, he pulled the weapon back, and it sprays into the ceiling fan. Right. He said there was an injury near her eye that could have been caused by the baseball, like he was saying. Yeah. Because it was, he said it was, like, different than the other ones. It wasn't like he didn't crack her skull like the baseball bat did. Yeah. But he said the baseball, that could have been him telling the truth that she was hit with the baseball. Okay. This part's a little rough. Just, like, emotionally, I think.
Well, this whole case has been...
Yeah, this one part just kind of, like, gave me the
heebs.
The heebs, yeah. So when she came for her autopsy, they noted that each of her hands were encased in a bag that was tied at the wrist. That was done by the crime scene technicians. That's what they do. They encase your hands in a bag so that any
nothing
kind
gets
of
on
evidence.
Your hands.
Well, and also if you have any DNA under your fingernails or anything, they need to protect that. So they do that. So he did indicate that had happened. And then he said when he opened the bag, there was a bracket that was in the bag. This bracket was part of the bed, but only 3 were accounted for when they searched the crime scene. So what they thought was, he said, it wasn't in her hand, but it was in the bag with her hand. So he said what he thinks is that at one point she was holding that bracket. So he said
she was trying to get out.
What that seems to be is that she was still alive after she was pushed under the bed the first time. So his version of events where he says he could still hear her.
Yeah. She was fighting to get out of there.
And not only was she alive, but she was trying to get out.
Oh my God.
Yeah. He did say that all 9 injuries to the stomach and lung area were inflicted post-mortem. So what he heard after that, like whatever time because again, his version of events might not line up with what actually happened.
Because what you're saying is that he said she was still moaning, so he pulled her back out and stabbed her. But in all reality, he stabbed her after she had, like, there's no way she was moaning.
Yeah. And what could have happened was she could have made a noise.
Because you do, sometimes.
Because it can happen. But it's like he could have, or it could have been a totally,
He just wanted to stab her more.
Yeah, it could have been any kind. So that's what he's saying. He's like, I don't know exactly.
If what he's saying is true.
What he's saying, the injuries are consistent with what he's saying. It just might not be how he's saying it happened, or why he's saying these injuries happened. Because he keeps saying it's just to keep her quiet.
Well, and he's watching all these
violent torture things. Yeah. So the jury deliberated for I think just under 2 hours, and they convicted him, Josh Phillips, who was 15 years old at the time, of first-degree murder.
Yeah.
Which was pretty unheard of for his age. Now, they did have a doctor, Dr. Osha, I believe his name was. He was not super established as a doctor. He was, like, just out of medical school.
Okay.
He did find a bifrontal lesion, or a couple of them, on Joshua's frontal lobes.
So what does that mean?
It can basically be linked to unexplained violent outbursts in teenagers, because your frontal lobes are not fully developed. So if they have lesions on them, that's going to cause issues. They wanted to use this in court, but they didn't end up using it because, one, I think they were a little concerned with, like, his credibility, the doctor. Not that he wasn't a good doctor, but he didn't have a lot behind him. And then also he was far away, and they needed him to come to testify, and he wasn't willing to do that.
Okay, so, scratch that.
That's something, at least. Like, there is an abnormality on his frontal lobe, but nothing is really conclusive about what that means anymore. So August 20th, 1999, he was up for sentencing. This is when his parents and Maddie's parents could get up and, like, give statements.
Oh, God.
Maddie's mom gave a statement that just, like,
hurt my heart.
She said, quote, "No one or nothing can look up at me with those big brown eyes. Pictures and memories, that's all I've got. I will never see Maddie play again. I will never see her fulfill her dreams. I will never kiss her, tell her I love her, and send her out to play again." Right? Like, that just, I just almost, like,
I got that
choked
lump.
a little bit.
I got that lump in my throat.
Ooh. He was luckily sentenced to life in prison without parole. And Judge Arnold said in his final statement to him, he spoke right to him, and he said, quote, "I do not perceive you to be a child. Your monstrous act made you an adult."
Yeah.
And that's how I feel.
I agree.
You do an adult crime, you do the adult time.
Yeah.
He also went on to say, quote, "I'm certain that on your judgment day, you, Joshua Earl Patrick Phillips, will be given a harsher sentence than I could ever impose."
I love when judges say...
When they get, like sassy as fuck. Like, they just, like, lay it down. Yes. I love it.
I feel like that's a part of judge school.
I feel like you have to take a class on that.
And, like...
because they're all so good at it.
Yeah, they are.
Like, so good. Like, that, I was like, yeah.
That gave me a little chill.
Yeah. He did have a couple of appeals, because there were, like, laws that came about that the Supreme Court handed down and such about, you know, underage people being sentenced to. So in 2002, they appealed his life sentence based on the 8th Amendment of the Bill of Rights that says, "Excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishment inflicted." And they were claiming sentencing a 14-year-old to life in prison with no parole is cruel and unusual.
So is murdering a child.
So the appeal court said, quote, "We find no harmful error occurred at trial and affirm his conviction.
Thank you. Good
As
night.
for his sentence, Mr. Phillips' primary contention is that his chronological age renders his punishment cruel and unusual. We do not feel that way." And his sentence was upheld. He went back in 2017 along with 79 other cases like his, because this is when they went back to appeal based on the U.S. Supreme Court's ruling in 2012 that it was unlawful to automatically send youthful offenders away for life. Because, and this whole ruling came into effect because they said science shows that the brain is not fully developed until you're in your mid-20s.
Okay.
So they said an underdeveloped adolescent brain can't make logical and rational decisions all the time, and we can't put someone away for that when they haven't fully become a human yet.
But it's scary to think that, yes, the frontal lobe is your decision-making department.
Yeah.
But also...
But there's other things that go into it.
Right. Yeah. And those remain the same.
Exactly.
And what if we let you out and then another kid gets murdered because your brain is fucked up?
Exactly. And that's like... There's so many layers to this. Yeah. This is another situation.
This is not just a case of frontal lobe issues.
This is not just a frontal lobe party. You can't
blame it on the frontal lobe.
No. Blame it on the rain.
Blame it on the booze.
Yeah. So now, The court says that he's a model inmate. He's now a Buddhist. He has
cool. That's fine. You know who else is a model inmate? Catherine Knight.
Exactly.
She skinned her husband alive.
Exactly.
You know who else is a Buddhist? I don't know, but
people are.
Yeah.
But they used this to try to get his appeal in 2017.
You know what he is? A poser.
They said his IQ is above average.
Don't care.
He's in the top 85th percentile. He's received his high school diploma in prison.
Cool.
In 2003, the Department of Corrections certified him as a law clerk, and he got a diploma to work as a legal assistant and law clerk. And
you know who didn't get to do all that? Maddie,
exactly,
because he killed her.
Exactly. And it says he's using these things to help other inmates with their appeals. So he also teaches GED science and math to other inmates for them to get their high school degrees.
Big whoop.
So they basically used all this as like, look, he's using his time well. That's what that was all about. I'm not saying that like, look at how good he is. I'm just saying they're using that as like, he's using his time well, and see, he's a different person. He's not that 14-year-old.
I get the argument. It's just like, this crime is so gruesome.
Exactly. And so what I think I'm going to do with my next mini morbid is I want to dive further into that. About minors being sentenced to life in prison and whether or not it makes sense. Yeah. I want to like go further into the science of that.
I feel like it's a case-by-case situation.
It is.
Because the thing is, if he had just... Like, if she had gotten hit by the baseball and, like, that incapacitated her, and then, like, somehow she died after that because, like, the ball hit her too hard or something like that, like, and he was scared, like, that's one thing.
Yeah. But and, like, he didn't want to say anything, you know what I mean? Like, if that was a thing.
But also, like, that's not the only thing that happened.
It went way further than that.
It was overkill.
Way further than that. And what he says now about it, because he didn't say a word when he was like 14, you know.
Right.
He was just sitting there looking at the floor. This is what he said directly to Maddie's parents. He's never apologized to them until now.
This is in
like 2017 when he was like, I feel like I can say something to them.
Okay.
He said to them, quote, I had no clue what life meant, what death meant, the depths of suffering that would follow one act. I had no inkling of how long suffering could last. I have lived long enough to understand what real suffering was. I did something horrible, and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Even now, after all these years, it is just so unfathomable that this all could have occurred. It tears my mind to know that I stole such a precious life from you, from the world. I wish I could take away your pain. I pray every day that you are able to live your life in spite of the injury I have caused you. I'm supremely grateful to have an opportunity for physical freedom. If any joy arises in my heart, it's immediately tempered by knowing that these proceedings bring all of it up again, face to face, the horror that occurred in 1998. When I walk the rec yard here in chains, I look to the skies through mesh wiring and thank God repeatedly for giving me hope. But my next breath is always devoted to wishing peace and healing to you all. Now, to me, this seems like... Yes, I think he is a different person than when he was 14, but I also think that this is a guy who's very smart and knows what he needs to say.
Yeah.
Maybe he is sorry, but sorry doesn't make it go away. Right. And it certainly doesn't mean that you should go walking the streets. Like, you know what I mean? Just because you're saying you're sorry.
You know what the other thing is, too? It's like, before he killed Maddie, there was no inkling that... Like he said, like there was no inkling. And right now it's like, oh, he's changed. It's like we have no reason to believe that he would do this again. And
unless you just explode again.
Right. Like you did the first time.
It's exactly what we were saying before, how none of this leaked out even slightly, and then it exploded in the most horrific, nightmarish way. How do we know that won't happen again?
And it's like all his teachers and the friend's parents were like, we never would have expected this. So it's like, what if it happened again? And the prison system is like, we never would have expected that.
And all the corrections officers and everybody in there is like,
he was a model inmate.
He's great. He's a wonderful person. I would never see him doing anything. Like, and then boom, something triggers him. So November 17th, 2007, Judge Waddell Wallace made his ruling. He says... I'm just going to read you a couple of little quotes. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's a very long thing that he read. Mm-hmm. He said, so he went through a whole thing that said, you know, do I think that you're a different person than you were when you were 14? Yes, I do. Mm-hmm. Do I think that, like, you know, it could be considered unfair to think that you should have all the answers at 14 and act accordingly. Yes, I do.
Right.
But he said, quote, "But I think if you looked at the evidence as it was developed, and some of this was developed more after the trial than actually used at trial, I think there's substantial evidence to believe that the young woman, Maddie, the girl, was lured over to Phillips' home with intent by Mr. Phillips to get her over there. She was not supposed to be in there and had no particular reason in the evidence here to want to go to interact with Mr. Phillips or go to his house. So it looks as if this was a sexually motivated case in which the defendant lured Maddie with a sexual motive involved, and that the killing itself was brutal enough and perhaps was motivated or arose from a concern about not being caught or keeping the young victim from running next door and reporting what had just happened." So he's saying, I think you molested her and then you killed her to shut her up. That's what I think happened. Because they also... this wasn't because of decomposition. I think they couldn't tell if she was molested, but they did find semen.
Oh,
so either way, they
on her.
They think that I think it was maybe on her clothing.
Oh God!
Or it was at least in his, which indicates that he was aroused at some point during this. I mean, that's not good.
No.
So, and all of that was kind of like a little confuddled because I think the DNA was a little tough.
And not to argue that,
but he had just watched.
Right.
Yeah.
And
so I
I'm
think
sure he's
that's
wearing the same clothes.
That's the other reason I think they couldn't really determine, because they were like, we can't tell whether it was during that
watched porn
or if because she came over right after. So it's like, you don't know when it happened.
God, that's really a lot.
I know, it really is.
Wow. I feel like I'm going to think about this case. Like, I feel like this really left an impact on me.
So then the judge went into, the overkill, and that you kept going back, you kept hurting her. And he said, quote, "So you have at least 3 stages of blows or stabbings to the child in order to effect the killing. Is this impetuosity, like impetuous? Like, were you just spontaneously doing this? Like, no, you were making concerted efforts to shut her up. To
continue, right.
Yeah. Is this the split-second decision of young people with the bravado of a peer group around in a school fight or a neighborhood fight? No. It's something that was done calculatedly, carefully, coldly, with a plan in mind, a plan that goes bad. And then with time to think about what you're doing or do something different, the blows necessarily bring about the death. Were done in stages, rather than one terrible split-second bad decision to pull a handgun out and then in the affray of combat, the handgun goes off and kills somebody.
Right. That
it's
was
very
my whole
different
point.
in that sense. Exactly. So after all that, he said, so when you take into these individual characteristics here, for all the circumstances as outlined, I think this justifies the sentence of life. And again, it is a sad day because I'm not unmindful about the fact that he was 14 years of age and that to lose your freedom of something you did at 14 is extraordinary. And that's why we've gone to this effort to have this hearing while the Supreme Court ruled the way it did, why the Florida legislature acted and passed the sentencing scheme that we did, and why I think this is rare. The jury verdict stands. The jury found the defendant guilty of first-degree murder, and so the court then again adjudicates the defendant guilty of that crime as charged in count 1 of the indictment. So it was upheld, and he is still going to stay there.
That's good. I'm glad.
Now, I think in 2023 he has another appeal.
Do you know how many he has left?
I don't know. I don't know how all this works because it's different from like parole, because he doesn't have
parole
parole.
Like every state and all that stuff.
So he's eventually going to run out of appeals.
Yeah.
I just don't know how many you get. That is the case of Maddie Clifton and Joshua Phillips.
That really did something to my heart, soul, brain, and stomach.
Yeah, and only a couple years from now, he's going to be up in appeal again.
I don't think he'll get one.
I don't think he will, because I think it's going to be the same situation.
Yeah.
No matter what he says.
Because that's my whole point is, like, it wasn't one thing that happened that you were like, fuck, this one thing happened and now I need to hide her.
Yeah.
It was, like, continuous
because that's the thing. It's, like, certain things where you're like, okay, he was scared. Like, if he hit her, she went unconscious. He thought she was dead. I mean, I don't know. Because I can't wrap my own brain around it.
The situation just would have had to go completely differently.
It would have had to have more accident written all over it. And you know what I mean?
The only accident that happened was he hit her in the face. And I would just wish that she, like, ran away to her mom.
Yeah, just ran away.
Like, ow.
Or somebody heard her.
I don't understand.
And came running. You know
well, and the
I mean?
other thing is, it's like, this was whatever time, like a little after 5:30 or something. Yeah. It's interesting to me that nobody heard her screaming on the front lawn.
But you know what? Then I think about it, and I'm like, okay, so at night when we're out taking walks and stuff, I hear kids screaming all the time, playing.
But no, I'm saying
it is hard to distinguish between a scream for help and what kids, because kids scream bloody murder,
right? When
because
they
think
playing.
It's funny. But
I'm saying, like, the police and stuff went around and said, like, did you hear anything? Did you see anything? And I just feel like you would be like, oh, I did hear kids screaming or like something.
But maybe they said that. Maybe they said I heard kids screaming, and they were like, do you know if it was Maddie? And they were like, I don't know.
Right.
I just heard kids screaming.
I'm just saying that could be like a loophole in the story. Like maybe she never.
Yeah.
I know she got hit in the face, but.
Yeah, I mean, it could. So, yeah.
Wow.
So, this was a very long mini morbid, but
it's a bummer.
Hope you guys are okay.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
So in the meantime of you putting your soul back together, you can follow us on Instagram at
Morbid Podcast.
You can follow us on Twitter.
A Morbid Podcast.
Join the Facebook page.
Morbid: a true crime podcast.
Send us an email.
morbidpodcast@gmail.com.
Donate to the Patreon if you're feeling so inclined.
Patreon.com/Morbid Podcast.
And also check out the website that my co-host so lovely designed.
Woo!
Didn't even make any sense.
Morbidpodcast.com.
We hope you keep listening.
And we hope you
keep
it weird.
No.
I was gonna say.
Nope.
Just
no.
No. Just nope it right out of there.
Nope. Bye.